This portion of the GM Cup at Seafair is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Chevy Trucks, like a rock.
Well, as we said, you can't have a race at Lake Washington here in Seafair and not have some sort of a bit of controversy anyway. The Trend West boat a little bit earlier with Scotty Pierce at the controls takes a one-lap penalty after pinching off the vacationville.com. Bill Rocky is talking to their pilot down there now, Mitch Evans. Bill?
Steve, Scott Pierce just came over and talked to Mitch. A little tight there in that last race.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd give me a little room. We were together there at the start, and he got by me, and then, boy, he just closed up the gap there and made it by the entrance pin, but the apex was in front of me, so I had to dodge around it. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
So you think the infraction was warranted?
Definitely, yeah. We need, a boat width plus a little bit of room, and I was crossed up in his wake at the entrance pin, so I really had no place else to go.
You guys, the only piston boat, again, it's still fun for you, even though you can't quite keep up with the turbines.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we've been making improvements on the boat all year, and it's starting to come out. We're running better and better. We got a new boat in the works, so I'm looking forward to next year with the competition we have now. It'll be great.
Let's slide over here. You were looking at your prop here. What are you guys doing with all this red stuff on the prop?
Basically, it's a dye penetrant, and we use it to check for cracks. We run some propellers that are repaired. We're pretty low budget, so we're working on them all the time, and we check it every time we run.
How's it look right now?
Yeah, so far, hey, you just got the dye on, but nothing visual yet, so I think we're okay.
All right, Steve, let's go back up to you.
All right, Bill, thanks. And again, those things happen. It's boat racing, but you got to give them that little bit of room there so they can move those boats around. Meantime, between races, that's when everybody hits the water. And now the sun comes back out again, and it's a pretty good time, actually. Take a little dip and cool off. I think Chip is going to go down and hit the water himself. When we come back, we're going to talk more boat racing, but not the unlimiteds, not the full boats, the unlimited lights. They ran yesterday. Put on a great show. We'll have that for you in a moment. There's the Bud, or is it? No, those are the unlimited lights that are on the shores of Lake Washington. They ran yesterday. So what's the difference between those boats and these big turbine-powered monsters that are running at 150 miles an hour around this course? Let's check in with Bill Rocky. He can tell us. Bill?
Steve, the big difference is noise. Lots of it. The lights are really loud. Obviously, the turbine's a little quieter. They didn't race in Tri-Cities last week. They've only raced at 3 of the unlimited sites. But fortunately for everybody here in Seattle, the lights ran yesterday here on Lake Washington. Those noisy unlimited lights are back racing in Seattle this year, one of 7 races on their circuit this summer. Phil Bonancini was a winner here a year ago in the Budweiser Pocket Mechanic. He comes to Seattle with a commanding lead of over 1,300 points in the national standings.
Of course, most of us are from Seattle, and this area's got a lot of history. Being the 51st year there's been a race here, and go out on that race course really means something to all us guys here. And it's really big to win in your own hometown, which we did last year, which was the first time we'd won. And normally something bad happens, but last year we were able to win.
No doubt about it. Phil's the boat to beat. I mean, he had a tremendous year last year, and he's starting off with a big bang this year. He's just doing great. He's got a good package put together.
Jerry Hopp drives the Freddy's Club. Back in June, son Greg edged Bonancini in the boat for the win at Tayson and Racing on Lake Sammamish.
We're still working stuff out on the boat. We just got it 2 months ago. It used to be the Alamo. It's a real fast boat. It's light on its feet. It handles good.
Freddy's Club does have a good luck charm. Meet Sheridan the teddy bear. Some crew members found him alongside the road traveling through Sheridan, Wyoming. He's been with the team ever since. Now, Steve, unfortunately, Sheridan didn't quite get it done for the Freddy's Club people yesterday, but the final was great. These guys over here work really hard. They don't have as much money as the turbines and the unlimiteds, but the lights, they're a lot of fun to watch.
All right, Bill. Hang on to Sheridan, by the way. I got a feeling Sheridan's going to be a lucky charm for him before the season is over. Meantime, as Bill mentioned, these boats all ran yesterday. So let's show you the heats. Some pretty good competition with the calls of those races. Here's Mike Fitzsimmons.
Heat 1A saw Dave Bender from El Dorado, California, lead a field of 5 boats across the line and into the first turn. Jerry Hopp from Arlington, Washington, kept the pressure on in the Freddy's Club, but the UL-38 Security Race Products was never headed and went on to score the victory. Freddy's Club was second, followed by the Contour Aerospace with Vince Zadero. By the way, we didn't see the UL-38 Security Race Products the rest of the day. Suffered mechanical difficulty and dropped out after that. Let's go to the award stand now for the presentation.
I'm John Lynch, the voice of the Texaco M&M's Deli Unlimited Lights Hydroplane Racing Association, and we're here to make the presentation to the winner of Heat 1A for the Unlimited Lights competition here at the GM Cup at Seafair. And we'd like to bring up the winner of Heat 1A, the driver of the Miss Security Race Products, the UL38. Congratulations to Dave Bender. And Heat 1A presented by Graham Trucking. Let's bring up the owner, Rob Graham, to make the presentation to our winner of Heat 1A, Dave Bender. Rob?
Congratulations on a good race. Good to see you out there. And thanks to Security Race Products as well, right?
That's right. Thank you very much. I have to thank M&M Deli, Texaco, and of course Graham Trucking and my sponsors at Security Race Products. And my crew put together a good package, and hopefully we'll keep it going the rest of the day. Thank you.
Heat 1B saw 3 boats fail to finish, including the Miss Comp Air, one of the favorites with Randy Haas, and the depleted fleet made it a cakewalk for the UL72 Budweiser Pocket Mechanic driven by Phil Bonancini. Bonancini had no trouble whatsoever and rode away with a victory virtually without a challenge. Now let's go down to the award stand for the presentation.
All right, on behalf of Graham Trucking, who's just a great sponsor, and the winner, Pocket Mechanic. Rob, why don't you come on up here? And Phil, good run out there, bud, and it's really neat to see. There we go. I have one of those Pocket Mechanics in my pocket, and you'd be surprised how handy they come in. Rob?
Hey, this is really cool because I get to give this to my friend. He's been great support for us, and he's just a real good guy, along with being obviously a good driver.
Thanks, Rob.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Seafair, M&M Texaco Markets for having us here. And we're just having a great time here in Seafair, and the weather's going to cooperate, I know, all weekend. So enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much.
Heat 2A was a 2-boat affair with the Budweiser Pocket Mechanic and the Freddy's Club showing perhaps one of the best pieces of racing for the afternoon. Jerry Hopp led at the start and into the first turn, but Phil Bonancini caught up with the yellow boat out of turn number 1, and the 2 battled deck and deck for 3 laps. Phil Bonancini at the last corner, however, got the lead and kept it down to the finish line in a drag race, winning by about 2 lengths. Now down to the award stand for the presentation.
And here to make the presentation to Phil is Mike Arnold from Sickle Steel Crane. Mike?
How about the rest of you guys?
Big group. There, everybody. Hi, I'm Mike Arnold. On behalf of Sickle Steel Cranes, I'd like to congratulate Phil Bonancini and the Budweiser Pocket Mechanic team on winning the Unlimited Lights Heat 2A.
Hey, thanks a lot. You know, without Sickle Steel Crane, none of these boats get in the water, and we sure appreciate these guys being here. And it's a great place to be, Seattle, Washington, and thank you very much.
Heat 2B, a 2-boat affair. Randy Haas had to have a victory to make it into the finals in the Miss Comp Air, and he succeeded. He led at the wire, and Wayne Howard could not possibly catch up. All the way it was Miss Comp Air. Wayne Howard kept the pace, but was several boat lengths back. Not enough boat speed, not enough handling to catch the Comp Air, which made it into the final. Down now to the award stand for the presentation.
Congratulations to Randy Haas, the driver of the Miss Comp Air. And let's bring up Rob Graham as Graham Trucking presented Heat 2B with the award presentation. Rob?
Hi, I'm Rob Graham. On behalf of Graham Trucking and Seafair, I'd like to congratulate Randy Haas for, well, a job well done, I guess. Thank you. Good job.
I want to thank Graham Trucking, Texaco, and our sponsor, Miss Comp Air Leroy. My crew, we've worked pretty hard. We missed the first heat, but we made the second one. Thank you.
That was yesterday. This is today. The lights are on the trailers, and those drivers and crews get to watch as the Unlimited, the big boys, are racing today to the thrills and chills of these fans along Lake Washington. They're going to get their fill again in just a few minutes. We're not all that long away from Heat 3A as the glassy surface of Lake Washington trickles along. We'll be back.
I got a lot of static in my left ear.
The Unlimited Lights final was a 2-boat affair. Let's pick it up in progress as we have Randy Haas and Phil Bonancini locking horns yesterday afternoon on Lake Washington for the Unlimited Lights final. Bonaccini on the outside is definitely the master of his fate here. As he's going to come down to the line and by about a rooster tail or so pull it off and take the checkered flag and knock off Randy Haas once more this year.
Winning from the outside, that's a tough thing to do. That means you've got a great boat that's fast and handles well, because he had a long ways to go, so that's a really good race boat.
That is indeed. And coming down a lap down, or almost a lap down, is the number 3 boat. That's the Graham Trucking and Doug Brow. Disappointing for the UL-15 Freddy's Club. Jerry Hopp, the yellow boat, coming across the line 4th place. That boat's a lot stronger performer. Didn't see that action out here. And bringing up the rear down at the back chute now are the 929 boat. That's the Contour Aerospace and also the Alley Chevrolet, the 40 boat with Wayne Howard. They are trailing back. So is the Graham Trucking with Doug Brow.
You know, frankly, Mike, they put on a better show than this throughout the whole year. They've been running very close. A lot of boats, not just 2 boats. They haven't had a very good week this week. A lot of engine problems. A lot of guys having trouble getting to the start line. There are usually more boats competing than this.
That's absolutely right. It's been a little bit of a disappointment, the boats here on Lake Washington. So it is a victory for the Budweiser Pocket Mechanic. 2nd place, Randy Haas in the UL 110 Comp Air in this running of the Unlimited Lights on Lake Washington.
All right, Mike, Chip, thanks very much. Those finals took place yesterday, and now it's time to award Phil Bonaccini for his great run here at Seafair. Let's go to the presentation stage.
Wasn't that a great, exciting heat? That was really a lot of fun. And on behalf of Graham Trucking and Rob Graham, Rob, you want to come up here with your son, who's been just a great sponsor for this Seafair event for the Unlimited Lights. I'd like to present the winning championship Seafair trophy to Phil Bonaccini and his crew, the Pocket Mechanic Budweiser. Just did a great job. It was a great race.
Can we say congratulations? Oh, sorry. Okay, congratulations. Now congratulations.
Thank you, Rob. You know, Rob Graham is a great supporter of the Lights. He's our series sponsor every year here. Rob Graham, Graham Trucking, is a great sponsor, and I want to thank him so much for being here for us every year. It's a great race. You know, Seafair, Lake Washington gets rough, very rough, and we did our best and came out on top. Randy gave us a good fight, and that's what we're here for. So I want to thank you so much. Thanks again to Matt, Randy, and his family for being here for us, and hopefully we'll see you next year.
We've got unlimited hydroplane racing coming up, Heat 3A, when we come back.
Heat 3A of the General Motors Cup at Seafair is brought to you by Subway, Eat Fresh, and is presented for Seafair by Cadillac, the fusion of design and technology.
And we've got technology out on the water in the form of all these boats. Heat 3A, here's your lineup. On the inside, the Silver Dollar Casino with Ken Muscatel. The Oh Boy Alberto boat and Steve David in lane 2. Miss Diamond Lils in 3. Then here is some speed from lane 4 on out. Skyway Park Bowl, disappointing so far today. Zenetics 2 with Terry Troxel, and then the Elam and Nate Brown. So let's run down the list. We got about a minute and a half, a little more than that to go. Here's the Silver Casino boat. They're going to be leading everybody up to the line.
All dressed up with no place to go, really. Lane 1 they've got, but they don't know what to do with it because they don't have the boat speed, and they weren't a factor the last time they had that lane.
Steve David in the Alberto boat, the number 6, nice green and red. Let's see if he can do something more today, Chip.
If he has something, I still don't think he's going to show it now.
Still too much time before the final.
Yeah, he's a wily old veteran, and there's no point in showing this stuff now.
From one wily old to the next, you'd know. How about Diamond Lils and Mark Webber there, Michael?
Got to like the starting lane and lane number 3 for these guys. And Mark Webber definitely has got to show something here. He's got to make it into the final, so he must finish high and have a chance for some lane choices. He also has to prove that he's got some boat speed and respectability, so he's got a little work to do.
Well, we've been looking at the Skyway Park Bowl, the Michael Hansen boat. So, Chip, let's talk about that.
We already know it's fast. I think he's just going to cruise, get into the final.
The Zenetics 2 boat, Terry Troxel has won one today. He's got a second place today. Fred Leland's got to be pretty happy with all that, Mike.
This guy's got one speed and one speed only. It's straight ahead, all ahead full, and that's what he's going to try to do. I think you're going to look for a real mix-up between that boat and, of course, the 16. It looks like the Elam and the Zenetics are going to be the class.
And Elam, Chip, has to come from way outside. Nate Brown's got a lot of speed under his feet.
And I think he's going to use it. Unlike the other guys, I think he needs to get experience in this boat. It's brand new to him, so he needs to leg it it and see if he can do it in the final.
All right, this is Heat 3A. Mike Fitzsimmons, take it away.
23 seconds on the clock. Up into the north turn they all go. Pre-assigned lanes, as you know, so none of that hunting is going to take place until the final heat. So as they come around the crown of the upper corner here, let's set lanes for you and let you see how they come down. The 25 boat, of course, is the Silver Dollar. It's going to be on the inside, but not enough boat speed to do much. The Oberto could be a factor here from the 2 lane. Look for the Skyway, the white boat in 4, the Zenetics, and the orange boat on the outside leads them across, and that is the Elam Plus with lots of boat speed as they go down. A whole lot more traffic than perhaps you'd expect, and Mike Hansen is pushing out there as well from the 4 lane out. So we've got 3 boats going into that corner virtually side by side. Lots of traffic in that lower corner, but everybody's lane seems to be open this time. Don't see any infractions coming out. And Chip, as they go up the back chute, look at once again, we got the whole fleet.
But watch Elam. I think he's in the 5th lane there. Well, I thought he had a bunch of speed, but he's not showing it. There he's showing it. He's got a lot of boat speed, and I think he's going to work it, see if he can do it in the final.
He definitely does. Your leader going into turn number 2 for the first time around is Mark Webber. As I explained to you, I expected he would be faster, try to be as fast as possible. Steve David on the inside of the old boy Oberto looking good as they come off that corner 2. That's your 1-2 right at the moment. And Mike Hansen and Nate Brown are mixing it up, and Brown's got the superior boat speed of anybody out there. He's still, however, running 3rd at the end of lap number 1.
What the heck's going on with Terry Troxa? It looked like to me he was buried in the first corner. I don't see him anywhere.
He is in 4th position overall, still coming down the straightaway at this time on the front end. All right, through the corner now. Your leader is still the Diamond Lils, and that is Mark Webber at the wheel. Steve David in the green, white, and red. Oh boy, Oberto on the inside, still giving chase on the outside, coming up all the time. It's the Elam Plus. There's Mike Lanson in 4th place. Some great boat racing coming down this back chute.
You know, one thing Mark Webber's showing me is that in Seattle, the inside lane isn't necessarily the best one, because I think the 2nd lane, you can pick your arc. So I think Mark might be showing that a lot of guys might not be going for the inside lane, but they may be going for that number 2 lane.
Absolutely, and in the middle lanes seem to be the good starting lanes unless you've got oodles of boat speed, and even with it, the Elam remains in 3rd place at the present time, moving up on Steve David. End of lap number 2. Diamond Lil's your leader. Now Elam overtakes the Oberto at the 3/4 mark of the front straightaway. In 3rd position now is the Oberto. 4th position, it is the Skyway. 5th, it is the Zenetics, and real loose and so far back is the Silver Dollar Casino. Up the back chute, it's still Mark Webber out front in that yellow boat.
But even if Elam does not finish higher than 3rd, he's still showing me a ton of boat speed because he's staying with them, but yet he's got a lot farther to go. So that guy's showing some boat speed.
Now look at Steve David on the inside. Here's where he'll make a move. He's going to keep the hammer down as far as he can. Not enough cornering handling, however, to overtake at the entrance pin. Let's see how he comes out of the corner. He's going to be tight. And Elam is trying to move up on the outside. We're going to have a 3-boat drag race to the checkered flag. Let's see what we get. It looks like Mark Webber's going to have enough beans to hold off the Elam. He does. But the Elam takes 2nd place. 3rd place goes to the Oh Boy Oberto.
Oh boy, Mike, that's a lot of boat speed to finish 2nd. I think he started in 5th or 6th lane. So that took a lot of boat speed.
It sure did.
That impressed me.
4th across the line is the casino boat, the Skyway Park. And coming across now, it will be the Zenetics. No, Zenetics got overtaken. Look at this.
Yeah, what do you think's going on with this?
I don't know. Zenetics must have had a problem, but she got overtaken, and a little bit of pride there goes to the Silver Dollar Casino, because instead of finishing dead last is what would have been anticipated there. It looks like Kenny Muscatel got himself some boat speed and was able to take care of an ailing Zenetics there. That's going to have them scratching their head down on the green team.
Got to remember that Zenetics, I think, won both of its preliminary heats and is definitely going to be a player. So I don't know if it was mechanical or just laying back.
Well, one thing I noticed, Mike and Chip, is early on when everybody else took off, I saw the Zenetics slide from way outside. He started in the 5th lane. And all of a sudden, he came way down inside, crossed about 3 rooster tails, and then just by that time, he had pulled way back off of everybody. So I don't know if all that rattling around through those rooster tails might not have done something.
Well, there's no question.
Here's your unofficial winner. This is the Diamond Lils, and this is a moment of pride certainly for Mark Webber. He was upside down last year at Seafair, and now he looks pretty doggone strong. Let's go down to the camp and see how the folks feel on the beach. And here's Greg.
Yeah, we're with team owner Kim Gregory, and what a time to get a first place. You needed it.
We needed that so bad. I mean, we were thrashing right at the end, got the boat in the water late. Hopefully we've still got a battery box in the back because the battery hold down's broke, and we just stuffed foam in it, and he goes out and drives a race. So What can you say? It's a boat race.
And he held them off down the stretch there,
He
too.
did it. It ran. We've been playing with props and combinations all day and finally hit something that works.
You get another finish from your other Weber driver, you might get 2 in the final.
I would love to try to get 2 in the final. That would be wonderful.
We wish you the best in the next heat.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Greg, we're looking at Diamond Lil's bounce along. I don't see a battery pop out of there, Chip. Did you?
No, I didn't, but something hit me in the head. Maybe it was that battery. I don't know.
By the way, the speeds picked up. Lap number 2 for the Elam was the fastest of this one, 138.8 miles an hour. So as we move closer to the final, they're starting to ratchet up.
Well, if this gives us any indication, we are in for a great final. There is a lot of speed out there, and these guys are showing that they're not afraid to take it to the front and stay there.
Well, it's telling me that the start's going to be everything. I think if you've got to be in the first 3 lanes, I don't think you have to be in lane 1, but I think you've got to be in the inside 3 lanes, and I think you've got to be right on the start.
Nate Brown did a pretty good job coming from lane 6 and finishing second in this heat. Of course, granted, had a little competition fall out. Still in all, big hugs, sip of water. And Mark Webber's got lots to be happy about. Greg, do you have him?
Congratulations, Mark. A time. Boy, what a time to get a first place.
First thing that went our way today, I think, but just says something about this team. You know, we got an awesome race team. Dialing a brand new boat, and obviously you just saw a real good run. So
It sure was. Talk about that middle lane. Seems to be working out today. It worked out for you definitely there.
yeah, it seemed to be a good lane choice for this boat and this setup.
And as your brother's got a shot too, maybe 2 of you getting into the finals here. How special would that be?
Oh, it'd be the best thing that happened to Seattle to me in a long time.
All right, yeah. You said if you win here, it would clean the slate. Isn't that right?
We need some cleaning up to do.
All right, we wish you the best down the stretch.
Thank you.
All right, the team here at Diamond Lil's very happy with the first place finish.
And, well, they should be, Greg. Tony Ventrella's probably got a pretty happy Nate Brown, too, the way he drove and came in second today, Tony.
Not bad at all. A great second place finish. You were 4th, 5th, 10th, 11th, and all of a sudden you're second. A little boat speed in the end there.
Well, that was, we had, the guys on the radio said, hey, Nate, second's okay. I said, heck with that. I'm gonna go for it, And I'm up there laying around in my Auburn Paulsbo RV. That was a nice little plug, wasn't it?
That was nice.
And
smooth.
Laying back, and I'm going, I better get dressed, Hey, Tony, have you ever tried one of these things on?
No, go ahead. That'll make my voice go up. Doesn't it make your voice go high?
We need one for a bigger nose because your nose was hitting the diaphragm there, buddy.
Every year. It's the same nonsense. Great job out there. So you, in the final, that boat speed's going to come in pretty handy, isn't it?
I hope so, but you know what? I mean, Mark had me covered on the inside, so what do I do?
All right, good job. Good
Thanks,
job.
guys.
First, a second. What else can there be? Maybe another first.
I hope so.
See you,
Thanks,
Nate.
Tony.
All right, Nate Brown, having a great day down here.
We're going to have to break you guys up. That's all there is to it. Here's Heat 3A, the unofficial results. And you see the Diamond Lils with Mark Webber at the controls. And as he said, he's got to clean things up after what happened last year. First lap flip put him out of action. Nate Brown in the Elam, then the Oh Boy Alberto. Steve David probably not unhappy with that 3rd place finish against those fast boats. Here's the Skyway Park Bowl. We've got to find out from Michael Hansen what's going on there. Silver Dollar Casino sneaks in there and takes 5th. And the Zenetics, too. Terry Troxel, one of the fastest boats out here, finishes up in the back of the pack. The unofficial results of Heat 3A.
Heat 3A of the General Motors Cup at Seafair has been brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh.
Well, here's your winner in Heat 3A, the U10 Diamond Lils. And again, Mark Webber doing a nice job in bringing that boat home against some pretty fast competition out there. Nate Brown again takes 2nd place. So that's Heat 3A. We've got one more heat. We're almost certainly going to have a provisional. Now, is this a Corvette or am I mistaken? An outboard Corvette. Now, that's a way to live, Chip.
Well, that guy's either a really bad driver or a really good engineer. What's wrong with this picture?
I don't know, but they're having a good time. And there are times when we're up here on this tower, I wish we were out there.
I don't think they are having a good time. I mean, take a close look at those 2 guys. I don't think they're having that good a time.
Well, maybe not, but we'll find out for sure. Let's see if we can't track those guys down. Here they are.
Here come the cops.
Uh-oh. They're going to ask him to move out of the way, I think.
Oh, boy. Oh, no, he threw a hand grenade at him or something.
As a matter of fact, our Clark Stahl is in Chopper 7, and he's over the scene. Clark, have you seen a vehicle like this before?
I'll tell you what, Steve, this guy is out here every year for the last 5 or 6 years anyway. I've dubbed this thing the wet vet. How's that sound?
There you go, yeah.
I have not seen that before for 5 or 6 years. That's great. These guys must be having fun.
Well, I wouldn't give him too much prop wash from the helicopter because it doesn't look all that stable to me.
Not much freeboard.
Nor the people sitting in it.
What's interesting is this shot looks like Clark Stahl and Chopper 7, along with Scotty Kruger, our photographer, must be right on top of him. But if you go ahead and pull all the way back, Scotty, we'll see just how high up you are. And this is why we can give you such fabulous pictures of the boat race. Look at how far away they are, way back. And that's amazing that Clark could find that in the first place in the middle of all those boats. There's the race course out there. These boats are all well behind to the left of the log boom, and then of course the race course is over to the far right.
How would you like to be the Coast Guard, having to take care of all those
Not
folks
even
out
close.
there?
I have a tough enough time figuring out who the winners are in these races, but we're going to tell you right now we have the awards presentation going on right in front of us.
Hydroplane Heat 3A. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. And there's your trophy.
All right, Seattle, things are finally getting a little tuned up around this town. I'd just like to thank General Motors. Obviously, your participation in this event is extremely important to Seafair. I'd like to definitely mention my primary sponsor, MCOR. They're with us all year, and our event sponsor, Diamond Lil's Casino. Without these people, we couldn't be here today and had an awesome race boat. But more important today, this is for all the guys at USA Racing. These guys have just busted their butt, and everything that could go wrong has gone wrong in the last 3 weeks, but I'm thinking maybe something's just turning around here. But even more important than all that, I got a really good friend with me right here, and this is Christopher Stratton. This is George's son. And you know, he's been with us all year, and on behalf of everybody at USA Racing, this is for you, buddy.
That is very nice. And these guys, these drivers, they're nice people, these crews. This is a good bunch of folks down here in the pits, folks. Meantime, Tony Ventrella's downstairs, and he's got Terry Troxell after what must be a pretty disappointing Heat 3A, Tony.
Well, we've become accustomed to the green boats being out front. Didn't happen in that heat. A few problems, but apparently they're very fixable, right, Terry?
Yeah, we're just glad we made it over the start and finish line. We got a gearbox going, and I guess the engine's about had it too. So we'll change to the big bullet and the good box, and if we make the final, which it looks like we will, then we'll be there.
All right, it's fixable. A wrench, you got a wrench, don't you? Get a couple of wrenches, different sizes.
You know, when you get to this league, you don't need to do that anymore.
Good point. All right. Yeah, it seems like it's they'll be there. He's going to use the same engine he used when he won last week in the Tri-Cities. Everything's fine.
I think that's a good idea, Tony. Thanks. We've got lots of good ideas for you, including Heat 3B and much more. Come on back. Once again today, the Budweiser's going to have to come from outside if he wants to win a heat. Meantime, the Zenetics 2, they're splitting up, running by themselves this time. And the Trend West, Scott Pierce a penalty last time. What about in Heat 3B?
Heat 3B of the General Motors Cup at Seafair is presented for Seafair by Buick and the all-new Buick Rendezvous. It's all good.
Here are your boats for Heat 3B. The Golden Nugget Casino with Jerry Hopp has the inside lane. Then Scotty Pierce and Trent West. Mitch Evans and Vacationville.com is in lane 3. MCOR 4. There's the Budweiser in lane 5. And Zenetics 1. Greg Hopp. Now he splits up with his other green buddy, the Zenetics 2 Terry Troxell boat. They've split now, and Terry Troxell finished last in the last heat. Certainly, Greg Hopp hopes that doesn't happen in his Zenetics 1 boat, but he will run from the outside position, lane 6. Got a little bit of time right now as some of the boats are making a few little repairs. In fact, almost 9 minutes before the boats come to the line here for Heat 3B. It had originally been scheduled for 2:55. It's obvious now that the officials have moved that time back a little bit. And Chip, it can happen for any number of reasons.
Yeah, it can happen for any number of reasons. But as I look at this lineup for this heat, I kind of feel Gary Garbrecht's hand in there. I mean, I think he just likes to throw MCOR and Budweiser next to each other just to see what's going to happen.
Well, and my guess is that Dave Villwock, obviously, he would like to be inside. He's been talking all day that they just don't have the power or the speed to come from the outside. And he didn't have a particularly good second heat. And so my guess is we'll hear him if we go down there and talk to him. We might hear him complain complain about this position as well.
You know, I agree with you, Chip, about the hand of Gary Garbrick in this. And, you know, all of these boats are going to have to hold lane all the way through the lower corner, which means that the Budweiser with superior speed on the inside boats is not going to be able to come over. That means that she'll be parked right next to the Zenetics 1 at the exit pin and have no ability to come across and change the complexion of the exit of that lower corner, which means if Zenetics maintains boat speed through there, we're going to have ourselves a drag race right off the yellow buoy.
You know, something else that was interesting after that last heat, when you interviewed Mark Webber, I don't know if anybody noticed, but he had a thing called a Hans device around his neck, as did Nate Brown. And that's, we all know about the tragedy of Dale Earnhardt, and a lot of people believe if he'd have had that device on, he might have lived. It used to be too big. I bought one about 15 years ago, but it was so big and bulky, the first shot at it didn't work for the boat. But now they have a smaller, more compact one that allows the drivers to get out of that small hole on the bottom of the boat. So it's nice to see those guys wearing that thing.
And it is, well, we'll get back to that in just a second. Meantime, Bill Rocky has Bernie Little down there. I'm sure Bernie is thrilled about coming from the 5th slot. Bill?
Not really. Bernie, you guys got lane number 5 here. I hear Dave's a little upset.
Well, you know, Dave's a winner, and you know, he's going to go just as hard as he can, and you know, he felt that he should have had a little better lane choice, but whatever it is, and that's what we're going to race for, and he's going to win it. So that's all. We don't have a problem at all.
Is this a situation, though, where you have to tell him, you know, just take what they give you, and the final's still coming up, right?
That's right, yeah. But you know my crew. You know them better than I do. But they're winners. They're all very professional people, and they know their jobs, and they work very hard at it. And so when you start fooling around with them, they're kind of unhappy campers. But they'll be fine, and they'll do exactly what we want them to do. And that's why the team is what it is.
All right, Bernie, good luck in this heat. Let's go over to Tony Ventrella.
Thanks, Bill. Greg Hopp has had, I would say, a very satisfying day so far. He's got a victory in a heat. He's got a second place in a heat. He's coming out of the 5th lane here in this heat, and that is not exactly where he'd like to be, but I think he can work it around. This boat is running perfectly. Not true with the Zenetics 2, as Terry Troxel just told us, but they'll get that fixed in time for the final. The Z1, as you can hear, everything is go for Greg Hopp.
Tony, thanks. The boats are firing up, and they're getting out on the water now, and they'll begin to position themselves. We have a couple of minutes yet before they'll start queuing up. In fact, a little more than 5 minutes to go, Chip.
You know, one thing about Dave being upset during the day, that's going to affect him, I think, in the final. And, you know, just not having things go your way, being angry, especially being angry, is a very bad emotion to be living with inside of a race boat. So I think right now Dave has to just go, okay, I'm here. I don't need to go fast to win this thing. I just need to get in the final and just put that stuff out of his mind.
And remember, he's won 3 straight races here in Seattle. If anybody knows this course, and granted the conditions change, but if anybody knows it, it's Dave Villwa.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's been world champion. He's been Gold Cup champion. You know, he knows what he's doing, and I think he'll keep his emotions under control.
You will note that Scott Pierce came out of the first turn in first position in his last heat, and that's something that Dave is thinking about. If he can handle the M-Core, he definitely has the Vacationville handled, probably the Golden Nugget as well, but that Trend West in lane number 2 is likely to be there out of the first corner, along with the Bud, the M-Core, and the Zenetics on the outside, assuming those 3 hook up. That I mean Bud, Zenetics, and Trend West. The spoiler is Scott Pearson this week.
Hey, Mike, since you mentioned it, let's go ahead and talk about those lane assignments again, and then we'll get in depth into each of these drivers and each of these boats. But here's your Heat 3B one final time. The Golden Nugget Casino, Trent West is into, Vacationville, M-Core, Budweiser, and Zenetics 1 with Greg Hopp. So let us begin with that Golden Nugget Casino and Jerry Hopp.
And, of course, starting out as a trailer boat today, all of a sudden the U-20 Golden Nugget finds itself in the inside lane with the veteran driver, Jerry Hopp, at the wheel. But this is a brand-new boat from down in Oregon. By the way, the first Oregon team since the 1951 Quicksilver. They come from Hermiston, and Jerry certainly a capable driver, but he's got some equipment shortages here.
Chip, you mentioned Scotty Pierce. He's in the Trend West boat. Had a penalty last time, so it knocked him all the way from 2nd down to 6th. What does he got to look for out here?
I think he wants to redeem himself. You know, I don't think he did that intentionally, and it's embarrassing when you do it. So I think he wants to show what a pro he is and have a good finish here.
Mitch Evans has that piston-powered Vacationville.com boat right in the middle of the field. Can he hit that line with everybody else, and can he cause a few problems for those outside boats, Mike?
And you know the answer to that is yes. Mitch is a very good starter. Now, he doesn't have the boat speed to get out of the turn with those guys, but he certainly has the boat speed to get to the line with them, and that could mean he'd be a bit of a barrier for some of the other planners.
Mike Weber hopes to do what his brother did just a few moments ago. He's in the M-Core boat, the U-15 boat.
If he does well here, he could make it to the final. If he makes it to the final, we got 2 teams perhaps with 2 boats. That doesn't sit well with Dave Vilwalk.
And for anybody else who's out there driving by themselves singly either, well, here's Mr. Vilwalk. A first and a third, today in the Budweiser boat. Mike?
Dave certainly in the catbird seat has just about everybody handled, at least on paper. But in his head, does he have them handled? Don't know that for sure. And certainly 2 or 3 guys are going to be playing with him here.
See how angry he is, as Chip was saying out on the course. You don't want to be that. Finally, the Zenetics 1, the U-100 boat, will come in from the 6th lane. Long way to go, but he does have pretty good speed too, Chip.
Yeah, he's got good speed, and like his partner, Terry Troxel, on this team, both of these guys are really aggressive. Whether he has the boat speed to back it up or not, he's going to stick his nose in the middle of the fight and see where he comes out. He runs hard in every heat. He doesn't care about the final. He wants to win everything he gets into.
Well, and as we talk about this time of day now, we've had a number of races, and one right after the other here with Heat 3A, followed right by 3B. And we're looking down at the south end here, Mike. I know you can't see it very well from your vantage point, but man, is it rolly and choppy down here, Chip.
And you know what? The wind is, the flags are dead still. So I go back to those boats on the logboom. Here you've got this walling of water back and forth. There's no wind at all. That means everybody on the logboom is moving around. Those are worse than wind waves. So
we just had several large vessels move over to Mercer Island, taking an apparent drowning victim over to the Mercer Island side there, and they moved at speed, so they cast some very large wakes, which are likely to find their way to this race course before things are over.
Well, let's hope everything's okay with the drowning victim, but they're going to have their hands full here in this first corner. Remember, oh boy, it's getting worse and worse by the minute down here. If you look into what we call the DMZ, it's just really, really sloppy, and that stuff should be moving out into lanes 1 and 2 about the time they get there with the boat. So we'll watch it. Could be nasty.
And we watch that front straightaway. Not any real serious wind at the present time, but we haven't seen a whole lot of it today, and a couple of boats have gotten a little flaky down there, to say the least. So here we go up the back chute now as we start to line things up. Everybody pre-assigned in their lanes, and with 32 seconds, they're actually just a tad early, so they're going to be off the power deeper into the corner than we've seen in a couple of the heats. Again, once more, Zenetics on the outside. That's the rooster tail you see on the left of your screen. Is going to try to come around with a high arc and as much speed as possible, eat up as much race course. She's got the whole outside to deal with, so Greg Hopp may take her shot. Now let's take a look at our starting lanes as they come down. On the inside, close to the buoy row, that's Golden Nugget, but it's the outside boats. Budweiser, the red one in 5, and Zenetics in 6 that you're going to want to watch. Also in the middle, M-Core is going to be good, I think, as well. And once again, Scotty Pierce in the 2 boat, the black boat there in the 2nd slot, is controlling the field going into the lower corner, leaving enough of a lane, it looks like, on the inside this time to avoid the judge's wrath. Everybody else going a tad wide outside of him, and Scott's going to come out just as I figured he would with the lead. And of course, you got the Budweiser, you got the M-Core, and you also have the Zenetics 1 in that action. You're looking inside Scotty's boat right now. He doesn't see anybody in front of him, at least not yet. He's getting quite a ride.
Yeah, you got to hand it to Scott. He got a great start in the heat before this. Now he had some bad luck. He went out and he did it again. Now, whether he's got the boat to back it up, we'll see. But he's doing a great job as a driver. Look on the outside here, Mike.
Absolutely. Isn't that beautiful? You've got 3 boats going through that corner. Lots of traffic. You don't often see that much traffic in a preliminary heat in the North Turn in Seattle in years gone by. The formula's working. Once again, Kim Gregory's boat was going to lead him across the line by a nose, but here comes the Budweiser on the outside. Dave's gotten a head of steam on that race boat, and he has already handled the Zenetics, but still inside. Scotty Pierce is working him. Once again now Mike Weber is starting to hold Dave out just a little bit. That's going to give Scott just an opportunity on the inside there. He's pushing Dave very wide, but Dave's got boat speed on him. As you can see, they're side by side. Here comes the acceleration of the Miss Budweiser from the outside.
Dave has just showed his hand. He just showed that, he was late at the start, he was outside, and now he's out in front. So I think Dave just showed us that he's got the boat that he can win anytime, any place.
Yeah, now look at Mike Weber, however. He dove deep into the corner and maintained some boat speed, pulled back alongside as they come out of the corner. Once again, it's going to be brute speed for Dave Vilwalk down the back chute that's going to allow him to lead the M-Core across the line by a boat length and a half as we end the lap.
It's going to be real interesting to see his lap times here. If he's got fast lap times out there in lane 3, he's got a real quick boat under him.
And that last one was 137.072, so they're quick.
No, Scott just went down. Yep. He was doing a great race. It looked like he probably broke a hot end because there was fire in the pipe in the back of the boat.
Big pop, and there you see the Trend West out of it. Now down the back chute, it is the Miss Budweiser. Dave Villwalk by half a rooster tail now over the M-Core. And Mike will give it one last shot. Will Mike Weber going into this corner to see if he can't possibly draw alongside. He's going to keep the throttle down, go deeper into the corner to the apex. He's going to stay with him. He's pulling up within a boat length or two. Whoa, he takes a bad hit, goes into the rooster tail, and that'll snuff him out. There it goes. That's the end of it for M-Core. He took a gamble and it didn't pay off for him there. Here comes the Budweiser to claim the checkered flag.
Yeah, if you look at the M-Core, he's lost the air scoop, he's lost the engine cowl, and I have to ask myself why he did that. You know, he had a second place. There was really a small chance he could catch the Budweiser in the last corner. You just don't make those kind of mistakes when you're trying to get in the final. He could have had a second place. Bad decision.
Wasn't necessary. He's trying to restart. Synetics goes across the line, second place. And here comes Mitch Evans, will pick up third. Meanwhile, trying to restart sans the cowling is Mike Weber to try to get scored here. Here comes Scotty Pierce wide from the back end after he got himself restarted again. And now it's going to be a question of whether the two boats who were stopped could get started again. Mike is looking in the mirrors now, knowing full well that Scotty's got a head of steam, and it's going to be all for naught. The Trend West is going to pass him and manage to finish ahead. It looked for a moment there that Scott was out of business, but he gets scored as well.
Mike, let me ask you, you're closer to that corner than I am. Did he slide out, or did Bud take his lane away from him?
He slid out. There was lane there. He slid out. He just rolled right into the rooster. Took a gamble. There was some tough rollers up there. He decided to play it. You know, sometimes you win. You look like a hero if you win. You manage to come out on top. If you're wrong, you wind up waxing it, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but I'll say it again. I just think it was a really bad decision. You're trying to get into the final now. Winning the race at the preliminary heat isn't that important. He's probably thrown away a chance to be in the final. Not a good thing.
Could very well be, and as you see, he's just barely creeping, as a matter of fact, but he's still under power, and if he can get it down to get the nose across the line, at least he'll get some point.
No, I don't think he will, Mike. I think the rule book says you have to be up on plane when you cross the finish line, so I think it's all for naught.
All right, take a look at this replay right here, guys, to see if you can see what happened.
There's lane enough inside there, no doubt about it. He hit, came up over one bad swell, hits another one. This is where he loses. Skid fin comes out, boat slides into the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser, and once she does, of course, he's out of control there momentarily, and that's all she wrote.
And I think what caused that to happen is that he took a ton of boat speed into that corner. I mean, he just threw it in there, and this is a real. See how it hit on the front sponson? It got the boat all irritated, hangs up on the air, bounces up again. And as you said, Mike, the skid fin, which is on the left sponson, on the left side of the boat that keeps the boat from sliding sideways, gets out of the water, he goes sideways.
You take a look at that buoy there that we're just crossing in front of your screen there. You can see full well there was plenty of water there for him if he wanted a lane. He had plenty of. They're looking at a different angle. You can see tons of space.
If we could back that up again, though, there is something interesting. Now, Dave did nothing wrong, but on the other hand, he didn't do him any favors at all, because what he did is called squaring off the corner. He changed his radius. Watch right at the end of the corner. Here's Dave over here. And as he comes around the corner, watch his arc. When he goes, it's a little farther down here. He looks like he's kind of headed towards the beach. Now watch him all of a sudden turn left. Okay, now there's plenty of room right here, obviously. Right. Okay, but Dave changed his angle, and what he basically did is said, you know, you're going to have to change your angle too. And of course, Mike was in no position to change his angle.
Of course, at that point, Dave wasn't sure Mike wasn't still coming after him.
Yeah, and remember, there's a guy on the radio to Dave saying, you know, he carried a ton of boat speed in there. He's gaining on you. So Dave did, again, good driving, very legal maneuver.
Yep. And the Budweiser, of course, comes through with the win in this one, and Bill Rocky has the winning driver.
Thanks, Steve. Dave, things got a little tight there right in the last lap.
Yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of room in there. I think where Pierce got on a plane there left a great big wake. I think Mike got caught up in it.
So he had to start way outside, but I think you showed a little bit of what you can do right now.
I think if you look at the lap times, we're not going that fast and not fast enough to win this thing unless we get lucky. So we'll just do the best we can once again.
But the big one's coming up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Let's go back to you, Steve.
You know, Dave is an amazing engineer. He's a great boat driver, but I don't think he's a very good actor. I'm just not buying it. I don't
know Emmy there. I mean, he's saying he doesn't have the boat speed. That's the third fastest heat speed of the day. So, and that's not with his final heat combo. So
he better stick to boat racing because he's never going to make it in a soap opera.
Just ran away from everybody. All right, Tony Ventrella also.
We got Greg Hopp. It's been just an outstanding day so far for you. One more little task ahead. It's just a matter of picking equipment for that final heat then.
Yeah, you know, it's we've been first or second all day, so it's
keep it going.
Yeah, you know, hopefully we get back to first in that final. So we'll put our final heat motors in and let her buck, see what happens.
At this point, Greg, we're not exactly sure if the other green boat's in the final or I'll have to run the Constellation. I believe it is, but I don't know for sure. If you're both in the final and the Bud's in the final, are we looking at a 2-on-1 here, like the old 2-on-1 basketball or what?
Well, no. I mean, our best hope is to get both Synetics boats in the final and finish 1-2 with both the boats.
All right, that's a good answer. Take care. Good luck.
Thanks.
Way to go. Greg Hopp. Okay, being politically correct at this point.
And Greg England is in the pits as well. Greg.
Yeah, with Kim Gregory, the owner of the Miss M Corps there. And boy, we talked to you. You were thrilled just a few minutes ago. Thrilled watching that race until the final stretch there.
Yeah, I think he just came unhooked down there in that corner. He saw Budweiser right there and thought maybe I can get him. And looks like we came unhooked and then really got hosed big. It blew the cowling off of it. Probably got the motor too. So
really disappointing. Mike said he wanted to be aggressive. He was having a great race there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little too aggressive in the end. Then.
Well, sometimes you have to, you know, use your judgment. And but I'm not going to question what he was doing. He's had a tough day, and I know he wanted to prove his point. And I think he was doing it really well. I just was hoping we can get another one little quarter of a stretch, and we had it made, and I think we'd had two of them in the final. So
still a good day for your racing team. It looks like he got one in the final, and Mike put in a pretty good showing as well.
Yeah, Mike did a good job. We just need to get it back and see how bad we hurt it now.
All right, we'll wait to see that boat back here in the pits. Hasn't made it yet. Guys, back to you.
Not at all. As you can see, Mike Weber is standing astride the boat, and if there's not too much damage, they can get it ready to run again, right?
Yeah, but look at Mike. You know, look at it. He hasn't looked up for minutes. He knows he made a bad call. And I've been there. I know exactly what he's feeling. You're going, could I just have that minute back?
By the way, that Golden Casino, or make that Golden Nugget Casino boat also gets a DNF today. Jerry Hopp, that boat barely made a lap and then kind of went dead in the water. So they sat on the front straightaway there for the entire race. Had a great seat to watch, but unfortunately gets no points for that finish.
They've had a rough weekend.
Yeah, they have. Here are the unofficial results. 3B, the Budweiser wins it. Zenetics in second. Vacationville.com is third. The piston power boat. Nice to see him get up there and get some points. Trend West, and then a couple of did not finishes. M-Corps and Golden Nugget Casino. All right, Heat 3B is in the books. Does this look familiar? The big red boat driving for a win in Heat 3B. Well, it's their first time today, but Dave Villwalk and the Miss Budweiser do just that. They win this heat, and they come from outside to do it. And as Chip Hanauer and Mike Fitzsimmons both said, showing their hand in the process that they do, in fact, have the speed to come from the outside. Now it's just time to check over that boat one more time with Bernie Little's crew, one of the best in the business. And meantime, Dave Villwalk is all set to receive his awards down on the presentation stage taking place. Well, that takes place right in the pits in front of us. And if they're ready, we can go to them.
Hi, I'm Paul Thomas, and on behalf of Buick Motor Division and General Motors Corporation, I'd like to congratulate Dave Villwalk and the Miss Budweiser team for winning the Unlimited Heat 3B. Thank you. Great day. Good job, Dave. Thank you. Super job.
Wow, that was a tough heat. Well, it looks like a lot of people got wound up in different positions. We were lucky to be in the place to get out clean, and we're in the final, so we'll see what we can do from there. Thanks, Seattle.
Hey, guys, raise your hand. And by the way, I give you
just not a lot of enthusiasm by Dave after a win, but we'll see what kind of lane he gets for the final.